Hi, I'm Kang, and we've got a tornado coming in about 17 minutes, but I love this house too much to let it go down without a fight. So I came prepared. Tornadoes are a scary thing and something you have to prepare for in advance. Just like the launch of a video game, which is something that DICE has consistently struggled with for the past decade. Exhibit A, Battlefield 3. When this game first came out, server crashing were pretty frequent and annoying. Thankfully, they were quickly patched. Exhibit B, Battlefield 5. 5's launch wasn't that bad, but there was a lot of small bugs that were quickly patched. Too bad the game came out unfinished. Exhibit C, Battlefield Hardline. Now this one's a bit of a cheat, because Hardline actually got a really smooth start, but the servers got fucking DDoS attacked on day one. And the worst of all, Exhibit D, Battlefield 4. I won't harp on this for too long, because I'm sure a lot of you already know what happened. A garbage netcode, a barrage of irritating bugs, and constant crashes plagued Battlefield 4 for almost a year. It was terrible. And when 2042 was announced, people prayed that this didn't happen. The trailer looked amazing, the near future setting paying homage to the forgotten Battlefield 2142, gorgeous looking visuals, tornadoes like the one that's about to kill me, 128 players, specialists that got people really fucking worried, and the rendezvous. This looked like it would be DICE's most ambitious project yet, and with the 3-year development, hopes were high that this would be a smash hit. Then the beta came out and those hopes were crushed. I won't spend too much time on the beta since this is a review for the full game, but my god, this is about as bad as first impressions can get. Laggy matches with god-awful bugs and the snappiest animations you can get in an unplayable, seizure-inducing environment. But the excuse at the time was that this was a 2-month-old build for some reason, and the full game would apparently not be as buggy. So let's move on to November 12th, the early access launch of the game, and it was just as bad.
Blatantly unfinished. When Battlefield 3 came out, I thought to myself, imagine how Battlefield will look like in 10 years. Was not expecting this. Yet another huge game disappointment of 2021. I'm a Battlefield fan/veteran since Battlefield 2. This game is a pure disappointment.
If I like hit this building right here, let's see. Yeah, doesn't do anything. Look at that. Interesting.
The class system sucks, there's less in-game assignments whenever you're trying to play the core features, there are less guns in the game itself.
But if you're thinking of picking this up on Series X or Xbox One, stay away, save your money, and stay far, far away.
I've had 3 crashes in the past fucking 20 minutes, and I'm tired of this shit!
What the fuck?
Sure, the animations and the seizure-inducing skybox was fixed, but that's all they did. Most of the other problems that were in the beta were here too. This launch was almost as bad as Battlefield 4's. Server crashes were constant, and on top of that, the netcode was some of the worst that I've ever seen. Thankfully, by the time the full game launched a week later on November 19th, which was when I started playing, a day 1 patch was released fixing things like stuttering and rubber banding, making the people who had paid $20 extra for the early access version feel like they just paid to test the game, which is basically what they did. But the server issues are only the tip of the iceberg, because Battlefield 2042 has a lot more problems than just lag. Entering All-Out Warfare, I instantly noticed my first major issue with this game, and it was this. How the fuck are you gonna launch a $70 game with 2 fucking modes? Going into any other Battlefield to date, you had a wide variety of modes to play, whether it be Conquest, Rush, Operations, Team Deathmatch, or fucking War Pigeons from Battlefield 1. You had options. Here you either have Breakthrough or Conquest, and both of them kind of suck. They found a way to fuck up Conquest, the mainstay in the Battlefield series that has been around since fucking Battlefield 1942, 2 decades ago. That game from 2002 was able to do Conquest better than this game in 2021. The only thing that 2042 does better than 1942 is the gunplay. It feels great. The shooting and recoil feels nice, probably some of the best in Battlefield if I'm gonna be honest. But they even found a way to fuck this up with how broken the PP-29 and SVK are. That's all anyone uses out of the 22 weapons in this game. That's right, 22 weapons at launch, which is a disgrace when you compare it to Battlefield 4, which had over 100. Maybe there's only 22 guns in this game because you can use anything that you want with any class. And I use the term class very loosely, because they have been replaced by these specialists. Before this game even launched, everyone was worried about the specialists and how they would ruin squad play. And guess what? These specialists ruin squad play. They have taken the last remaining thing that allowed you to play as a team in Battlefield and gutted it. replacing it with this specialist system ripped from games like Rainbow Six Siege and Call of Duty, giving them unique abilities, like Sundance with a wingsuit, which is pretty cool if I'm gonna be honest, Pike, who can hack stuff, Dozer, who has a fucking riot shield, because that's exactly what we needed in this game, people using annoying ass riot shields, and McKay, who has a grappling hook that barely fucking works, never attaching to any ledge that I launched to. The problem with these specific specialists is that they're all for solo play, ruining teamwork even more and making it feel even more like Call of Duty. Sure, there are some support characters, like Boris, who places turrets, but he's the only one in the entire fucking game, unless you want to count Irish, who has the fucking useless ability of placing down a deployable shield, which barely works because if you're not on the flattest fucking terrain in the universe, and there is a slight bump in the pavement, then you will not be allowed to place your shield, and you'll fucking die trying. The other support characters are the medics, Maria Falk and Angel, who has the most punchable face in the world. And their abilities are being able to heal your teammates with a pistol in Maria's case, or giving armor in Angel's case. And when someone goes down, they're able to revive them. When the game works properly and doesn't bug the fuck out. Cause if their fucking head or kneecap or nipple hair is touching the surface of a wall, the game will not let you heal them. And in fucking extreme cases, not only will you not be able to get revived, but you'll be left unable to die. I'm not joking, your death timer will reach 0 and get stuck there, and clicking X will not do anything. You'll just have to sit there in the revive state for the rest of the match.
Disarray. Take the advantage. Our victory is imminent. Take the final objectives. Our forces have the advantage. We have almost won.
It is baffling how something as simple as reviving a teammate, which has never been fucked up before, has been fucked up this badly here. And that's just the bugs. That's not even mentioning that you never get revived in this game. When you go down, there is no marker telling you how far a medic is from you, so you'll have to look around to see where they are, but it's pointless because barely anyone plays as the medics in this game. And when they do, they're so busy doing their own thing that they won't even bother trying to revive you because remember, team play has been disabled in this game and everyone is pretending to play Call of Duty. To drive this point home, in all 20 hours of me playing Battlefield 2042, I have been revived twice. 2 fucking times. I am not joking, this is no exaggeration. Nobody revives or heals each other in this game because of how badly specialists have fucked up team play. Even when I was playing as a medic, barely anybody would wait for me to revive them because nobody ever does, so by the time I run over to them, they already killed themselves. It baffles me that in a game that has 128 people in each lobby, I have only been revived 2 times. And oh yeah, Battlefield 2042 has upped the player count from 64 players, which is how it's been for the past 2 decades, to 128, which at first sounds like a good idea, but in practice, you quickly see how this ruins Conquest matches. It has forced every map to become a ginormous Battle Royale sized map, where you have to run for 5 goddamn minutes just to make it from one objective to the other. Map flow has been completely destroyed. Every map now is just big for the sake of being big. And that's not even mentioning that there's only 7 maps in this game, and they all suck ass. They couldn't even be bothered to have cool events on specific maps like the tower in Siege of Shanghai collapsing, or the blimp crashing in Battlefield 1. Sure, they have this rocket exploding in Orbital, but that's lame as hell compared to the others. Admittedly, they do have the dynamic weather system, that's really cool, like the sandstorms and tornadoes. The tornadoes especially, getting swept away in one for the first time was actually one of the few times I enjoyed myself in this game. The sandstorms aren't as cool, just making it more foggy and harder to see. But I have to admit that even with the weather system being cool, it got boring pretty fast. Considering that the tornadoes happen nearly every match, the effect wears off. The game desperately needs different weather events, like a massive tsunami or flood on a water map. similar to Paracel Storm or Flood Zone from Battlefield 4. But there is no water maps on this game, and on top of that, you can't even dive under the water. And when you hold a pistol in the water, this is what it looks like. But the point still stands, this game needs more unique maps, because the ones available in this game feel really fucking generic. With the most unique probably being Hourglass, since it takes place in a desert, but that one plays like complete fucking garbage, just like every other map in this game. I did not like a single one. They all had garbage fucking flow where vehicles dominate. None of them are made for infantry, which is how I and most people enjoy playing Battlefield. All of them are just there and vehicles clean house, with very little to counter them, considering that there are only 2 fucking rocket launchers in this game. And the anti-tank one sucks. It's not even lock-on. The second rocket launcher is, but that's anti-air. So for tanks, you're left with this, which takes 4 shots to destroy 1 tank, and you're only given 3 fucking shots. The best way to deal with tanks is to use C5, which I became pretty good at. That's right, the best way to counter a tank in this game as an infantry is to use a tactic that people only used in the previous games due to class limitations, or just to look cool. Now you're forced to. But you can only use so much C5 before it becomes overwhelming, which is exactly what the new vehicles in this game do because of the new call-in system. This allows you to call in vehicles on the fly and have them dropped in next to you.
Requesting armor! Location marked!
Request received. Assigning vehicle now.
Unless they fucking forget to do it. This system, just like 128 players, sounded cool at first, but it ruins the flow of matches because of how many fucking vehicles are around. And if you think it's bad in Conquest, take a step into Breakthrough. This mode, which is supposed to replace the beloved Operations and Rush modes, is awful. It's a weird combination of both modes, but it fails at everything that made those 2 modes fun. It's way too big to be similar to Rush mode, and you don't have to plant a bomb, instead you just walk into the point and capture it. It feels more similar to Operations from Battlefield 1 than Rush, with the amount of players and the grand scale of everything. And if Breakthrough was meant to replace Operations, it did a god-awful job at it. Breakthrough is complete garbage. The soul of Operations that made that game mode great in Battlefield 1 and sorta in Battlefield 5 is completely gone here. It's not cinematic at all. If the attackers take all the points or if the defenders are able to hold out, the match just fucking ends. Nothing like switching to a new map where the attackers are now defending while the previous defenders push them back if they won the previous round. Teams getting reinforced with shit like Zeppelins or having a badass last stand like you can do in Battlefield 5. No, gone. If the defenders kill all of the attackers, then that's it. The match is over. Now listen to the specialist saying some cringy ass one-liners.
I am not overconfident. I'm just better than everyone else.
That's it? I'm ready for round 2.
Don't be sad. This is just how it works out sometimes.
Breakthrough took all of the fun and immersion that was in Operations and Rush and turned it into just another mode that's less immersive than even fucking Conquest was. This mode just isn't built for 128 players. It's a complete mess of bodies and vehicles that get dropped in constantly due to the call-in system. So it's just a mess of vehicles camping at the objective, mowing any infantry down that dares try to stop them. Okay, so that was my only plan and it didn't work. New plan. Survive. So let's recap. There's only 2 modes in All Out Warfare for $70. Conquest, which is probably the worst iteration of the mode in the entire Battlefield franchise, where every single map sucks ass and vehicles dominate. And Breakthrough, which is a crappy amalgamation of Rush and Operations, but it fails at everything that made those modes fun. So both those modes suck ass, which is like 50% of this game. Can the other 50% make this game worth it? Well, sorta. because you get to play the old better games. Battlefield Portal is probably the only good idea that DICE came up with during this game's development, allowing you to play little bite-sized pieces of some of the classic Battlefield games, like Conquest mode in Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield 3, or Rush mode in the legendary Bad Company 2. And by including this mode, DICE has showed players how much better the old Battlefields are compared to 2042. I had more fun in one Conquest match in Battlefield 3 than in 10 fucking hours of 2042 Conquest matches. Even if you've never played Bad Company 2, all you have to do is play one match of Rush and you will see how it is 1,000 times better than Breakthrough. I even had more fun on the original Battlefield 1942, which I had never played before this, so nostalgia isn't even there for me to enjoy. Portal is the only thing that is worth it in this whole package, because you are able to play the old games that actually had heart and soul put into them, and not the thing that you paid $70 for. Its only true glaring issue is the fact that there are only 2 maps available for each game, which will definitely get boring fast. There are some changes to the original games, like adding destruction to 1942's maps, and obviously improving the graphics and animations, taking all of them from 2042, meaning that its bugs carry over to these remasters, including its cringy-ass end screen, where the World War II soldiers will bug out and say the lines that the specialists were meant to say without even moving their mouths.
Well, well, well. That was fun. Oh, you know, I think I pulled something back. I am not overconfident. I'm just better than everyone else.
But despite all that, despite some of 2042's problems carrying over to these games' remasters, this is by far my favorite part of 2042, and I hope they improve upon it. Maybe we'll get some of the old maps added in on here, but I'll be honest, I don't really mind having to play Caspian Border over and over again, considering that it's probably one of my favorite Battlefield maps of all time. Hopefully they'll add some more games to the bundle, like Bad Company 1, which I've never played and would love to experience, or Battlefield 2, which I love and is depressingly forgotten, or how about 2142, which is what this game is a spiritual prequel to. I don't know what they'll do with this mode, but whatever it is, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully they don't fuck it up.
Look, man, I know you don't want to see it, but when a man's gotta pee, a man's gotta pee. I think we did it, Bats. I think it's over.
And the final mode for this $70 travesty is Hazard Zone. This mode should have been free. I've seen most people comparing this mode to Escape from Tarkov. This mode has barely anything in common with EFT. The only similarities they have is that they're both first-person shooters, they're both on a big-ass map where you have to search for shit and kill either real players or NPCs, and you have to extract. They have nothing else in common, and Escape from Tarkov is 100 times more in-depth. This mode is basically completely separate from All-Out Warfare and Portal, treating it similar to how COD treats Warzone, which is why I think this mode would have worked better if it was free to play. It's not a battle royale, thankfully, because we have far too many of those. Instead, you get paired into a team of 4, buying any weapon that you've unlocked if you have enough money, or just getting the free stuff if you don't. Your objective is to find a bunch of data drives and then successfully extract. If you're able to do that, you get a fuck ton of money. If you get killed or fail to extract, you'll still get money, but not as much. And that's basically all this mode is. Go spend your money on weapons, find data drives, and extract to get more money, to go back in and spend more money on weapons so that you can collect data drives and then get more money. Understand? Good. This mode isn't very good. It gets boring so fucking fast once you realize that all you're doing is getting money to spend on guns to get more money. And for $70, this is a pretty boring mode, which is why I think it's a big mistake that it's not free. Making it free would also help the player count, which this game mode clearly desperately needs. The wait times are fucking absurdly long. It's by far some of the longest wait times I've had to endure in a game that just came out, to the point where your team will fucking leave or go AFK by the time that the game starts. And sometimes, pretty often actually, the servers won't be able to find a game and will just kick you back out into the lobby with no message or anything.
I'm all set.
Yeah, me too. I'm so disappointed by Battlefield 2042. This might just be one of the most disappointing Battlefield games of all time. At least 3 and 4 were good games deep down. You just couldn't play 4 for almost a year because of how awful the servers were. And I don't even know if 5 is considered a disappointment with the whole if you don't like it, don't buy it fiasco because of how bad the trailers looked. But Battlefield 2042 looked really promising, especially after that first trailer. But after specialists were announced, that's when a decent amount of fans started to get worried. But I personally held out hope and saw potential. That was until the beta, and then the launch. Maybe this game will pull a Battlefield 3 and 4 and fix itself. I mean, the base gunplay is great. It just needs to improve on things like adding more guns and melee weapons, game modes, maps that actually focus on infantry, better music, server browsing, scoreboards, vehicle customization, stats pages, more executions, improved aim assist and hit detection, the UI, emblems, dog tags, commanders, test ranges, gadgets, leaning, more rockets, nerfed vehicles, voice chat, team changing, create a squad option, medic indicators, medics in general, better balance, improve squad play, overhaul the specialists, maybe an actual campaign mode, but that's never gonna fucking happen. Jesus, okay. Maybe this game is broken beyond repair. I hope that's not true because I really love this franchise and hopefully DICE can get their shit together, but things aren't looking too good right now.
We did it. We survived the tornado. Some things can be replaced.